Hey guys, do you want to know 3 ways to bring God into your paint parties? If you do, stay tuned. Okay, so 3 ways to bring God into your paint parties. Okay, so number 1, paint and praise. Number 2, praying before your events, and I'm going to talk to you about that as well. And then number 3, painted prayers. Okay, so I'm going to make this a really quick video, but I want to show you 3 different ways you can bring God into your paint parties. So my name is Heidi Easley, and I teach women all over the world how to make money teaching paint parties. And as you can tell, I am very passionate about God running our businesses and totally entrusting Him with showing us the opportunities in front of us. So many times we can look out and see nothing, see no opportunities, but I truly and fully believe anytime I look on my calendar over there and it's blank and I don't have paint parties, I start praying for God to show me opportunities, and then that way I can book paint parties. And it has consistently helped my business for many years, and I want it to help yours too. So I'm going to share 3 different ways to share God's love through art and bringing God into paint parties, even if it's not a Christian event. You can still do this. Okay, so the first one is called Paint and Praise. Now this one actually happened by accident. So I was teaching at a large church event, and one of the ladies, the preacher and the preacher's wife, she asked me if I would share my testimony before I taught the painting. Now I was like, sure. I mean, I've written about my testimony, but I hadn't really done public speaking about my testimony. And I was so nervous. I thought I was going to throw up. I was so nervous. And she wanted me just to talk about it, tell a little bit about, my surfboard story, my bankruptcy story that led to me having my first business before the age of 30. I always say bankruptcy to business owner before the age of 30. And so it just really stretched me. I was really scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I guess I'm supposed to do this. Well, what happened was I ended up telling my story, and then immediately as I'm walking around helping the women, there was this different type of connection. People I had never met were telling me these stories of things that happened in their life. And it was so magical to know that, yes, we're teaching a paint party, but there's also so much healing that can happen during a paint party. So after that, that paint and praise, I ended up starting calling them paint and praise. And since then have done many other sharing testimonies and then teaching a paint party. And since then, I've also had many people in Paint Party Headquarters, which is my monthly online where I teach people every month how to consistently make money teaching paint parties. I've had some of them do paint and praises as well, where they're sharing their testimony in front of a group before a paint party. So I just think that is amazing how God can work. So number 1, paint and praise. Number 2, this one is praying before the event. So this is one of those scenarios where you may be teaching at a restaurant, a bar, a brewery, wherever it might be. It doesn't have to be a Christian event. However, you can pray before the event. You can pray for these ladies. You don't have to tell them you prayed for them. You can still pray for them. One of the ladies, and one of my friends named Ashley, who is also in Paint Party Headquarters, she actually had her sons and her, they were on a drive to a paint party. And she had her with her 2 young boys pray for these women before they ever got there to set up. I think that is amazing. You are showing your kids how to pray for people that you don't even know. Another cool thing I like to do is as I put out the paintbrushes and as I put out the paper towels and the water cups for the paint party, I love to pray while I'm doing that. So I'm not stopping and, officially, bowing my head and praying, but I am saying a little prayer as I'm setting up the event. I think that's another reason why I like to come really early to events. So if it's 10 people, usually an hour and 15 minutes early to set up, even though I know it's only going to take me about 30 minutes to set up, because I like to have that time in the room just to pray and to know it's going to work out, it's going to be good. Because you don't know what situations are coming into that room. If you're a teacher or have been a teacher, you know when kids come in, you don't know what kind of morning they had. You don't know if they had to, not eat breakfast or try to make themselves breakfast, or, their parents weren't there. You don't know the situation that has happened. Just like we don't know the situations of these women coming in, and they're entrusting us with their lives for 2 hours to help them create something beautiful. Okay, so that's number 2, pray before the event. And then number 3, this is your third way to bring God into paint parties. Number 3 is painted prayers, okay? This is something anybody can do. Now, this is just kind of a technique. You can see it doesn't have to be a prayer. It can be a quote like the one behind me. And this is kind of an example of a background before a painted prayer. Now, on my website, texasartandsoul.com, texasartandsoul.com, and you will find a 5-day challenge for a painted prayer. Now, this is really great because anybody can do this. It can be a quote, it can be a Bible verse, it could be anything that is meaningful or a song lyric. I do a ton of song lyrics because I want something that when I look at it, it evokes this emotion, okay? So this one is one that I've done recently. So you don't have to be like this great artist to do any of this. This is just one that I had fun doing. And the reason I did this one is because as soon as I read it, I immediately start to sing that song in my head. So that I am blessed, I am called, I am healed, I am whole, I am saved in Jesus' name. So when I read this, not only am I speaking these words over my life, I am blessed, I am called, I am healed, I am whole, I am saved in Jesus' name, but I'm also able to take whatever moment I'm having. Maybe I'm having a bad day, and I'm able to take that moment and go straight to this. So I recommend when you do a painted prayer, make sure you do the painted prayer and hang it somewhere where you're going to read it every day. So if it's in the toilet, you got to go pee a lot of times, right? Wherever it's at, hang it somewhere where you're going to be able to read it every day and actually, change your mind about stuff, change your attitude about stuff. We are constantly surrounded with negativity all the time. Negativity just is breeding everywhere. It's craziness how much people just want to complain and feel like they're in this state of, I can't do anything about it. God's not big enough. I can't have a miracle. All of these things. I mean, I'm telling you, expect miracles, expect big things, but also bring God into your business and into your paint parties. And there are 3 different ways. I told you, paint and praise, pray before, and then number 3, painted prayers. So I hope this helps you. However you're going in your paint party adventures, I hope that you'll bring God into this and just see how it changes your business. I know it's totally changed mine. I feel like I have to, go to him for everything when I'm running my business because, he's ultimately, we have all these plans, but he's ultimately in control of all of it. So let him have a big spot in that and see what it does for your business. All right, guys, I hope this helps. Please subscribe, like this channel,